Alright, so you guys know what time it is. It is time to open up some shards, and yes, we're going to be opening up a bunch of them today. But yeah, there's a progressive chance event going on here, and there's some really cool champions that we can potentially grab here today, including Cheshire Cat. And you'll notice a trend here that we do have a bunch of Alice event type champions available. So that is very, very cool. It'd be awesome to get Knave. Really love the look of Knave, and you guys know that I love the Undead Horde. They are just absolutely badass in my opinion. Nice Revenant. We got a legendary defense in here as well, and more legendary defenses. Volcanus, who is a demon spawn. But we do have some epics in here that we have a chance to acquire as well. Some really cool stuff going on here. He looks like a total badass. So some demon spawns, undead hordes. Not like it's dedicated to one faction. There's several different opportunities here for sure. So yeah, but also mentioning champions, I gotta tell you guys something very, very cool. So if you want to grab Tagore and of course Ugo today for completely free as a new user, or you can create a new free-to-play account, follow that link in the description below, or scan that QR code on the screen and they will be yours for free, as well as a bunch of starter resources. So be sure to check that out. But let's head back on over to the portal and let us begin. We're going to start out with the ancient shards, work our way to the void, and then of course end with the primal shards. So we're going to slot in our legendary here. Who do I want? That is going to be the question. So Knave would be cool. Cheshire, he's just so cool looking though. What is Knave? He's an HP. I want an attack, so I'm gonna go with Cheshire. We'll see if we get lucky. We also have our epics here, and she looks very, very cool. But I want this dude. I want to try to go for a demon spawn. So yeah, let's go ahead and confirm that, and let's begin. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna pull one at a time and see what we can get. We got a rare at first. So we got Avar. And you guys did request not to go over every little detail about every champion that I do pull, but he is a rare support, and it sounds like he has some cool things going on with him. Can we look at the reviews at the very least? Hey, for a rare, not too shabby actually. So yeah, kind of curious about him, but let's keep going. Let's do it. All right, next up, who do we got? Okay, we do have an epic. All right, so I don't know how you pronounce this one. Irenaeus, I believe. Now let's take a look at the ratings first and foremost. Kind of okay, average rating here. Nothing that just stands out, of course. But if you do have her as the leader, you do get this bonus here. Ally accuracy in dungeons is increased by 70, and that is pretty legit for her. And she is a demon spawn, so we did actually get a really cool demon spawn. And I do like this ability here, how it attacks all enemies and has that 75% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on target by 1 turn. So yeah, very cool. All right, what do we got next? So we did get an epic attack, so that is cool at the very least. Another rare. I see how it is. Okay, I have never gotten her before. Yes, a Shadowkin, red cloak. Let's check her ratings. Hey, not too shabby at all. Very decent ratings for a rare for sure. She is a rare defense, by the way, and I am going to take a peek at her abilities. Rapid Sickle attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 25% chance of stealing 5% of the target's turn meter. Okay. Now with Whistling Blades, attacks all enemies before attacking, places a 25% chance of increasing accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. Now that's pretty legit. Also has a 50% chance of decreasing the turn meters of all enemies by 15%. That is also pretty damn good. Now Tripwire says removes 1 random buff from an enemy, then has a 50% chance of placing a 15% decreased speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So yeah, I could see kind of why she has a little bit of a higher rating here for a rare. And she is Shadowkin, and she is badass looking. So yeah, Shadowkins are just awesome. But let's keep going here. See what we got next. We got another rare. All right, Marquise. Okay, very cool. Ratings are pretty decent, actually higher. She's the highest rated one we have received yet, except for Hydra. Apparently very good in faction wars despite being a rare. And I have heard you don't want to exactly just discredit a rare just because they are a rare. Now, if we slot her in as a leader, It says increases allied defense and faction crypts by 15%. So I'm assuming, going back to this, faction wars is going to be very high. Yes, she's going to be great for demon spawn faction wars for sure. So might actually consider utilizing her in the future. All right. Next up, who do we got? Let's find out. Let's go. Okay, so we have an orc. Damn, I'm getting some newcomers. And I'm thinking that they're epics just because of the way they look. I mean, they look badass. But she is a rare attack, very little rating. So not everyone is using her. But when they do utilize her, which I imagine that these are players probably at the beginning of the game, or perhaps on some of the Doom Tower challenges maybe. I don't know, I'm assuming. But she has no aura, really, leadership skill, which is a bummer. However, it says pruning limbs attacks one enemy. Okay, and then has a 35% chance of placing a 25% decrease accuracy debuff for 2 turns. That's pretty nice. I had a feeling that that was going to be poison, so she does have some poison in there as well, and then she has the bomb debuff. So pretty cool stuff there. Now, moving on. What do we got next? Let's find out. Let's go. Okay, so we have a Banner Lord the Conqueror. All right, so yeah, that's pretty badass right there. You guys know I've been playing some Kingdom Come Deliverance too, and yeah, I'm all about, you know, the knight's armor, all that stuff. So this is really cool. All right, we got some good scores here. Kind of all over the place, honestly. Whenever I see, you know, 3.9s this often, I think Conqueror's probably pretty average. I don't have him utilized at all. Currently, it's not like this is a double that I pulled or anything like that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes with him. But let's keep going. Let us begin another pool here. No Appy. Come on now. All right, we got Wretch. We already have, I believe we already have him, if I recall. But I want to peek in on his ratings. Yeah, very average ratings for Wretch. Let me know if you guys are using him or not, but he's a rare attack. Let's go. Give me an epic. Who do we got? Okay. Chandler, he's a Skinwalker. Rare support. He does, as a rare, actually have an aura, which is interesting. It increases ally resistance in faction crypts by 30. Only 5 ratings. Yeah, so very poorly rated right there. So he's probably going to become food. Yeah, you never know. Okay, she's floating in here. We got another one. All right, sweet. So nothing too absolutely mind-blowing on those pulls for the ancient shards, but we're going to go ahead and slot in. Who do we want? Let's just try the Queen of Hearts. Let's go for it. But hold on. Who is this? Dude. He's a legendary defense. What is legendary support? We'll slot her in. You guys know I have a soft spot for supports. Damn, that is badass. So we have Madam Saris, I believe it is. I don't know. And then Dawn Caller Sabbatha. Okay, choices. I kind of wish we had like the rating thing, because I feel like that is helpful, but I am going to slot in. They're both epic supports. Okay, we'll do that. And begin subbing ritual. Let's see what we can do. Damn it, we got a rare. All right, Cold Heart. I believe we have obtained her in the past. Rare attack, 733 rating, so all over the place. Not good for arena offense or arena defense. People do not use her for that whatsoever, but she does have some poison stuff going on, as well as some debuffs and stuff like that. So pretty cool stuff. Next up, what do we got? Show us something good. Another rare. What in the world? Drowned Bloat Wrath. Dude, he's really been through it. Again, the artwork's crazy though, you know? Only 7 reviews. But everything is really high. There's only 1 rating here below 4.5. Rare attack. So for a rare, not too shabby. I imagine he poisons. No, he stuns. Stun debuff. Okay. And he also has what? Decreased defense debuffs. Fear debuff. Pretty damn good. Okay. For a rare. For a rare, you know what I mean? And yeah, remember, you guys can obtain Teodor, and yes, of course, if I can find her, there she is, Ugo, for completely free right now as a new user. All you got to do is follow that link in the description below or scan that QR code on the screen and they will be yours for completely free, as well as a bunch of starter resources to give you the best start in Raid Shadow Legends. All right, back to it. Let's do this. I don't know if we'll get lucky. I know some people say, hey, stay the hell away from progressive chance events, but, you know, I like to participate in them once in a blue moon. So we got Justicar, I believe it is. And, hey, not too bad. Not too bad on the rating side of things, but people aren't, you know, utilizing him that often. He is a rare defense, but he does have, you know, some bonuses here when you have him as a leader in faction crisp by 19%. Not too bad, but I really do like the artwork of him. Sacred Order, but nothing that, like, really stands out. So let's keep going. Let's rock and roll. All right, another rare. Damn. Undead Horde. Dude. Okay, I do really dig his art style. What is going on here? 11 reviews. Higher ratings. We got Sorcerer's Bones. Attacks one enemy. Plays a block buff. Debuff for 2 turns. Tomb Blight says has an 80% chance of placing a block active debuff for 1 turn. But what do we have here? Attacks one play. Okay, so nothing like that's like blowing my mind. So yeah, damn it. But I love the artwork again. Okay, so who do we got? Dark Elf, rare HP, 122, pretty good ratings. What I'm trying to see here, Faction Wars is going to be where it's at. Demon Lord is going to be great with that one. Painkeeper, love the name. But she does have some bonuses in those faction crisps by 21%. Does she have an attack all enemies? Okay. Attack all enemies and heals this champion by 15% of the champion's max HP. Okay. Not too bad. She is an HP, okay, champion, so she's going to really want to rely on that, of course, since, yeah, most of her... Interesting. So her damage is based on HP and attack sometimes, and then defense and attack. That's interesting. But this is, I think this is a really good one right here. Decreases the cooldowns of all allies' skills by 1 turn. That is hugely useful for sure. All right, so we are headed into Primal Shards here. We're going to slot in Cheshire, of course. And we're going to go for that dude as well and confirm. Here we go. Wish me luck. We have 8 chances. Come on. And we're starting out with a rare. All right, I'm familiar with her, Ethel. 480. Wow, people really do like her. Sacred Order rare attack. Okay. Interesting. Maybe I will actually utilize her. She does have this bonus here as well. I wonder what it is in particular that stands out. Let me know if you guys use her or not. Sound off. But we're going to keep going. 480 reviews. Okay. Another rare. This is torture. This is... What is going on? Come on now. Oh my god. Dude, oh hey, okay, Shadowkin. What in the world is happening here? Is there like... There's no champion lore? The champion story is shrouded by mist of time. Okay, interesting. Okay, rare support. Not that good of a rating at all, but, you know, the artwork style here is definitely, like, what is going on? What do you guys think the story is here? All right, so, moving on. Let's go. I'm waiting for at least purple, the color purple, you know what I mean? Stout Axeman. We got a dwarf. Only 4 reviews. Oof. Spider Den is terrible, so we will definitely avoid him at all costs for Spider Den. All right, let's go. Let's see. Come on. Oh, there she is again, Red Cloak. Okay, so we got 2 of her so far. Can't she be used for some sort of fusion? I believe she can, if I recall. Or maybe that fusion is over. I don't know. All right, so we have Missier Cord. Terrible with pronouncing some of these names. Level 1 Banner Lord, only 12 reviews, rare attack. The ratings surprise me though. Whenever I see these ratings for some of these rare attacks, It makes me curious as to why, you know. Attacks all enemies for this champion turn meter by 5%. She placed that speed debuff. Maybe this is where it's at. Place a counterattack buff and a 25% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. I thought that was going to be for the entire team, but yeah, let me know if anyone ever uses her for any reason. Sound off, kind of curious. Hey, all right, finally some purple at the very least. Dear God, summoning chance is now 20 times. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so it's too late now. I mean, we only have 1 primal shard left. Epic defense. This dude has really good ratings for Demon Lord, Faction Wars. However, he's not going to be used in anything arena. Spider Den completely avoiding him. Yeah, when it comes to dungeons, pretty terrible overall. But he is an epic defense. He attacks 1 enemy, places a 50% heal reduction debuff if the target defense is lower than the champion. So there's that if thing. That's so always very annoying whenever I see that. Place a 25% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Okay. Place a counterattack buff on allies except for this champion for 1 turn. Place an unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn. Okay, interesting. But we also have Unshakable, decrease the duration of all debuffs on this champion by 1 turn. Okay, so kind of protects himself, tries to keep himself in the battles, and then he increases ally resistance in those faction wars. So pretty okay, pretty average. Whoa, what in the world? No freaking way. We got a mythical, guys, on the last pull. Dude, I was not anticipating that whatsoever. Holy crap. Okay, so highly rated mythical overall, except for Fire Knight's Cap. I was not expecting this one whatsoever. We got our first mythical ever in the game. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. And he has 2 different, I guess you would say, like, phases. The base phase and then the, like, alt version. This is the alt version. Okay, so I was, like, not anticipating that at all. I was expecting another rare and just moving on and calling it, like, a bust. But let's go over some of his skills, because honestly, I'm not familiar with him at all. Let me know if you guys use him or if you got lucky like me and have him on your roster. And, yeah, let's take a look. So, Magma Hurl. Attacks 1 enemy, increase the duration of HP burn debuffs on the target by 1 turn. Now, if the target is not under an HP burn debuff, decrease the duration of 2 random buffs on that enemy by 1 turn instead. These effects cannot be resisted if this attack is critical. Interesting. It seems like there's some different tactics you can use with this dude. Then attacks all enemies not under HP burn debuffs except the initial target. Decreases the duration of 2 random buffs on all enemies by 1 turn. That's really good. Now, this effect cannot be resisted if this attack is critical. That's also a huge bonus right there. Now, Flames of Resentment. Attacks all enemies before attacking, increases the duration of all HP burn debuffs. So he's all about that HP burn. And this is based off of attack, of course. But anyway, let's read over it. So, increase the duration of all HP burn debuffs on all enemies by 1 turn, then instantly activates any HP burn debuff on each enemy. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion C rate is 100% or higher. So you really want his crit rate to be very, very high. You got to find some gear dedicated towards crit rate. Now, finally, increase the duration of all debuffs for all enemies by 1 turn and place a 30% decreased speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. These effects cannot be resisted. I cannot wait to try this. I cannot freaking wait to try this. This is kind of what I needed at this point with my journey in Raid, was something, you know, a tipping point. That's how I felt, and it finally happened. We got our first mythical. Hell yes. So we have Let him Adam. Place a 30% increase crit damage buff, a 30% increase crit rate buff, and a 30% increase speed buff on all allies for 3 turns. I'm assuming, does this also count towards him? That's my biggest question. Because it does mention all allies, though. It doesn't say him. I hope it does. We'll find out. I guess we'll find out, right? Because a lot of his abilities really are reliant on crit rate. That's why I'm really wondering. And then it says, then grants that extra turn. Nice. Now, Metamorph. transforms this champion into their alternate form, then grants an extra turn. Okay, that's pretty cool. Spark of Anger at the start of the round places an HP burn debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. All right, so this is where the HP burn comes into play. I think you're going to want to trigger this first. Let me know if I'm correct about that or not. Anyone that's like super experienced with Gizmak, sound off. Now, occurs once per round. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion's crit rate is 100% or higher. Also, before the start of this champion's turn, he has a 50% chance of placing an HP burn debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Now, this effect cannot be resisted. Once again, related to that crit rate. But once we get to Ascension level 3, we have his aura ability as a leader. Increase ally crit rate in all battles by 27%. So he is a badass, but if we do go to his alternate form here, his skills shift up here. All right, so we have Totemic Vengeance, attacks 1 enemy if this champion's HP or the initial target's HP is equal to or lower than 50%, attacks all enemies instead. Oh, okay. Increases the duration of 2 random debuffs on the target by 1 turn. If attacking all enemies, increase the duration of 2 random debuffs on all enemies by 1 turn. Instead, this effect cannot be resisted. So that's nice. You could really extend those debuffs that maybe like other allies are putting on the enemies. That's really good. Kaboom, attacks all enemies. Before attacking, place a 60% decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Now, this debuff cannot be resisted if the target is under an HP burn debuff. Interesting. Places an extra hit on enemies under HP burn debuffs. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Now, we have Ungodly Fury. Place a pain leak debuff on a target enemy for 2 turns. Okay, so now he also places a taunt buff and unkillable buff on the champion for 2 turns. Finally places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except for this champion for 2 turns. So yeah, it did mention there, except for this champion. So I'm assuming the other one that I was looking at, it did apply to him. Now, Metamorph, you can transform back into the base form. Burning Juggernaut says we'll ignore 15% of a target's defense if this champion's HP or the target's HP is equal to or greater than 50%. Now, if the champion's HP or the target's HP is less than 50%, we'll ignore 25% of the defense instead. We'll also ignore block damage and shield buffs when attacking enemies under HP burn debuff. That is huge. Inflicts 20% more damage to enemies not under HP burn. So I can see why you would want to like switch back and forth between, you know, the different versions of him, dependent on who you're facing off against. I can understand how that can be hugely beneficial for sure. But yeah, it looks like also the aura stays the same between, I believe, both versions of him. Yes, that is confirmed. All right, so very, very cool. Dude, okay, so this actually worked out nicely, this progressive chance. I was not expecting that. Honestly, I heard so many bad opinions about progressive chance. Don't do it. So I'm kind of happy that I hopped in here and gave it another chance. I've been running every like progressive chance event so far, and this one worked out so nicely. Hell yes. First mythical on the roster. Cannot wait to make a team around him. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, there it is. Also, before I leave, guys, I want to mention real fast. Yeah, if you want Tagore and yes, of course, Ugo, it's cool to see. I gotta say, it's cool to see the mythical on the roster. Finally, a mythical is right there. But yeah, if you want to obtain Tagore and Ugo today for completely free as a new user, follow that link in the description below or scan that QR code on the screen. You'll obtain them both for free and yes, a bunch of starter resources. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I am going to be looking up some guides, checking out what I can do with Gizmak the Terrible. So we'll find out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.